friends, family, great to see so many smiling faces. Thank you all for coming. I know some of you have travelled long distances to be with us today. Holland, Dubai, Bahrain, all over. Thank you so much for making this such a special day for Martin and Caroline. Thank you. I want to tell you, friends, I've never done anything like this before. I've appeared on stages in front of thousands of people. I've been on TV so many times in front of millions and never turned their head. And today I'm bricking it. I've never done a structured speech for a listening audience live, ever. And do you know what? I'm never ever going to do it again. When I tell you that my hands are shaking and my knees are weak, you better believe it. So if I make it, yeah, we'll do that one later. So if I make any mistakes or stumble across my words, please forgive me. It's just nerves and age, okay? I didn't know what to speak about. I've never done anything like this before, as I say, so I thought I'll talk about the early days when we first created our daughter. Perhaps don't go into too much detail about that. So I'll take you back to 1985, and I'd just gone into a partnership on a new business with a guy who was very successful, and we opened a new office in Birmingham, and it was my part of the deal to build it up into something special. But like with any business, in the early days, the early years, it just drank money and there was no return. So pretty soon, my dear wife Leslie and I were tens of thousands of pounds in debt. Our house was on the line, the car, whatever savings we had was on the line, and there were no guarantees. And then one morning, I heard my wife being sick in the bathroom. I'm telling you this because I'll never forget it. And I thought, poor lamb, it's getting to her, all the pressure. And I said, Princess, are you okay? And she said, I think you better buy a pram. I thought she was joking. I said, don't be silly, I want a BMW. It's a pram first, BMW comes later. And sure enough, a quick trip to the doctors made us realise that yes, we were pregnant. Just skip you like that, just skip forward a bit. When Leslie actually went into labour, it was a really long one. It just seemed to go on forever and ever. And I remember the midwife, she was fantastic. She said to me, Johnny, she said, I'm coming to the end of my shift. But I'm not going home. I'm going to stay to see this one. So when my relief comes in, I'll assist her in the birth. Now, you don't know this, but we argued for months and months and months about names, particularly if it was going to be a girl. I wanted it to be Caroline, after my favourite song by my favourite songwriter, Sweet Caroline. Leslie wanted it to be Nisha. Is there any Nishas in the audience? Thank God for... Yeah. You just kill that bit now, so I'm going to go to the next bit. And pretty soon, the relief midwife came in, and our midwife looked up and she said, Hi Caroline, good to see you. It was a eureka moment. I looked at Les and I went, Caroline, Caroline. She'd just been told to push again. She didn't care if it was Caroline, Nisha, Little Roy, Fauntleroy. She couldn't care less. But from that moment on, it was to be Caroline. Caroline was born just a few minutes later, and there was a slight hitch, and they whipped her away to the baby care unit, which I've never even heard of. I went into the parents' room, and there was Ida, my mother-in-law, one of Ida's sisters, Auntie Joyce, who now lives over in New Zealand. And they said, any news? And I said, I have a beautiful baby daughter. And next thing I got two crazy pole dancers jumping up and down the day room. Goodness knows what everybody thought. But it was a great moment, I'll never forget it. And then later, when Leslie was getting some sleep, I asked if I could go and see my daughter in this place they call the Special Baby Care Unit. wow, it's like something out of Star Wars. There were all these mini-me spaceships and everyone had got a little baby in it. And the second one along was my Caroline. And the sister said, would you like to see her? And I said, yes, please. So she took me in, sat me by the side of this plastic bubble. I said, would you like to hold her? I said, yes, please. So she took her out, placed her in my arms. I got this little bundle of love. Oh, sorry. I remember it like yesterday. And I don't know if there's anybody here who likes the show Only Fools and Horses. Have you seen the one where Del Boy's got his newborn child in his hands? And he tells him what a wonderful life he's going to have. That was me. For the next half hour, I held my daughter and I told her what a wonderful life she was going to have, all the places that she was going to see, that she was going to come home to a lovely house with a loving parent, 2 parents. And she was going to have some wonderful Christmases and marvellous holidays that she'd remember forever, and she would be absolutely surrounded with love. So much love that she'd never have to worry about anybody hurting her. And she never has. We've given her everything we possibly could do. And she's done us proud. We love her very much. That's thrown me again. It became pretty apparent pretty quickly to us that she was something extra special, because when she started schools, we got the same reports. If there was any child in any of the classes that had any problems, any disadvantages in any way, Caroline would look after them. And she's carried that through her life. She's always been a very, very caring person, too much so in many cases, to the point where sometimes it would worry me that maybe sometimes people may take advantage of that. And I remember I spoke to one of her teachers at a Blue Coat Christian school in Coventry, and I told her my concerns, and she said, don't be concerned, Johnny. Your daughter doesn't have a problem, she has a gift. It's called the gift of caring for others. She has a heart of gold and you should be proud of her. And we are. Oh, I'm dreading this bit. Boyfriends. It's okay, pal, I'm not going to go into too much detail.
No, go on.
Yeah. Later in the toilet. Caroline was never one to, what you would say, play the field. She was very staid, and if she found someone she liked, she stayed with them, very loyal. But we noticed in conversations a couple of years ago that this name Martin was being dropped into the conversation, but there was never any detail.
That was an I, not a Y, though.
Was it? Yes, you're right. There was never any detail about this mystery man, and we couldn't understand why. And after a while I started to make tentative inquiries, and all I could actually put together was the fact that he was an older man, lived behind locked gates in the middle of a field somewhere in Buckinghamshire, and his best mate was a nutcase called Mad Max. Sorry, Max. We were concerned, to say the least. But we finally get to meet him, and our concerns melted away. And to be honest, we took to him really quickly. He seemed to us sincere and honest, and that's what I wanted for my daughter. And we were right. And we can understand now why Margot and Mel, a lovely couple by the way, Margot and Mel are so proud of him. You did good. He's the top bloke. Congratulations. One day I was contacted by Martin and he said, can you and Leslie meet me for lunch in Northampton? I said, yeah, sure. Any reason why? Yeah, I'll tell you when I see you. Okay. So we trip over to Northampton to this restaurant. And the next day they were off out to Portugal, I think it was. And Martin said to us, I'd like to ask for your daughter's hand. Would you object? I straight away thought, if it's the hand that's been dipping into my wallet for the last 20 years, no, take it. But of course we were delighted, absolutely delighted, and we gave our full blessing. And of course when they came back, they were indeed engaged. That seems only 5 minutes ago, and now here we are, and they're married. And they're going to have a wonderful life. They're going to have a fabulous life. Do you know how I know? Because I believe that a perfect marriage is a combination of two things. It's a combination of two minds, two hearts, and more importantly, two souls. And I think you guys have made that combination absolutely perfectly. Your stars are pairing on. And just before I finish, I want to say an extra thank you to my new best mate, Abby. I want to say thank you for coming today, Princess. Not just being here today, but being one of our beautiful bridesmaids. And thank you from Miles for supporting you. Abby, you don't know what this means to your dad and to Caroline for you to be here. Thank you so much. You are a star. Thank you. Do you know, I know they're going to be happy, because whenever I'm in their company, I watch the way that they interact, and more importantly, in the unguarded moments, how they look at each other. And in their eyes, I see love. I see love for each other, pure and simple. I'm her dad, and that will do for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to raise your glasses, please. To my daughter Caroline, to my new son-in-law, Martin, Mr. and Mrs. Waller. I'm going to have to get used to saying that. The toast, ladies and gentlemen, is to the bride and groom. God bless you both. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my duty to hand over